welcome and welcome back to my channel. It is Empress Moxie back with another video. In this video, I'm just gonna talk about what it's like living in Colorado. I've lived in Colorado Springs and now I live in Denver, Colorado. So I'm just gonna give a little idea of what it's like to live here, especially as a Jamaican and a black woman. Alright, so let's get to it. So Colorado, you might have heard about Colorado maybe just for the Mary J or whatever y'all want to call it these days, cool kids. So Colorado is more than that, but a lot of people are moving here for that industry, and yep, it's a huge profit. So I guess that's something important worth mentioning in this video. However, it wasn't always like that. When I first moved here, it was 2012, and Colorado basically is like a huge military state. So in Colorado Springs, where I lived for about 8 years until this year, the military base Fort Carson is right near the community of southern Colorado Springs, and basically the military community and the local community are kind of intertwined. We party together, we eat together, we do everything with our military. Military marriages are common. A lot of people are recruited into the military in Colorado Springs during high school and things like that because of that huge military presence. But Colorado Springs is basically like a retired type community. We also have Old Colorado Springs City, where we learn about the history of the natives who lived downtown in Colorado Springs. And we also have freshwater resources. That's why it's called Colorado Springs, because we do have spring water sources. As for the black community in Colorado Springs, it is very, let's say everybody knows everybody, kind of. If you're anybody, people know you. If you're nobody, I'm nobody. Nobody really knows me because I kind of mind my business. But if you're like somebody who's doing something like drama, you're a thief.
And
things like that. Like literally, there are people who went to jail from the high school that I went in Colorado Springs, and I know them because it's that small. So Colorado Springs is like this, and Denver is like a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's Colorado. But Colorado Springs is pretty chill. Activities most people like to do is very active there. Like I said, it's like a retired community there, so because it's older people, you'll see them cycling. They'll go to the Manitou Incline, which is very popular there. A lot of people travel to actually come to the incline. The incline is basically a bunch of stairs going up the mountain, and you just walk up the stairs, and it's for exercise. I've done it a few times, like maybe 5 in total. The first time I went, I almost vomited.
you get out of here right now.
What? Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
The elevation going up gets worse, but if you do it more than once, you'll get used to it. And basically, there are like 78-year-olds going up them stairs like it's nothing. While I was doing it, there will be like old women and men running, literally sprinting up. Okay, at 6 in the morning, sprinting up. That's their little exercise. They've been doing it for years. You can't tell them nothing. They got them vibranium knees. Popular attraction. Another popular attraction in Colorado Springs is the Garden of the Gods. They have millions of visitors per year, and it's really pretty. Actually, it's a really nice place to go if you want to chill and just have a hike, have a little walk. They have trails around the area, and you know, they have rattlesnakes and animals in that area, but if you stay within the margins, you'll be okay. And now let's get to Denver. The reason why I was attracted to Denver was because last summer I had an internship at a company here. It's a insurance company, and basically I was a data analyst, and yeah, they paid good or whatever. So while I was here, I was like, there was a bigger black population because I was staying in Cherry Creek, which is very close to Aurora. Aurora is a very, it's like a good sized black and African population in Colorado, the state. I would say that has the biggest population of us there. So if you're moving to Colorado and aiming to find the black community, I would go to Colorado Springs or Aurora, Colorado. Those are the areas with a lot of us, black and brown people also. So Hispanics in the same area, you will find them. Colorado Springs is a bit more chill. It's just calmer. Like I said, it's a retired community kind of, so it's not really pumping with party. There are parties there, but it's not as, out there and like hot like Denver. Denver has the promoters. Denver has the more businessy side, the more flashy side, the more like vibes. You get me? Because of the communities that they have up here. So with Denver, when I was here doing the internship, like I was mentioning, I realized that there was more African presence, there was more black presence, and I wanted to be a part of that. So that's why I moved up here, because why not? I want to be a part of this. At first, when I went to college, I went to Texas Tech University, and the reason why I wanted to find a community with more people that look like me, and Lubbock, Texas was just as secluded as Colorado Springs. It was more white than black, and it wasn't equal. So I felt like still suffocated. So I moved back to Colorado Springs, and I was like, I should have went to an HBCU. How can I fix this? And the reason why I moved to Denver is because I wanted to fix that feeling. I wanted to be more in the space where there's more people like me, so we can be creative together, so we can have our voices heard together, and just basically, I don't know, actually relate when we have conversations, because I feel like conversations with other individuals who are non-black is not the same as it will be with black people. And that's the truth, because we all live a different reality, and I want to be able to speak on my reality with people who understand, instead of stepping around the truth, because it will make somebody uncomfortable. And I do not step around the truth. That's my problem. I'm gonna say it how it is. I'm the person who says white people in front of them, and they'll look at me like, we're right here, but I don't care. Like I have that vibe, but I want to be around people like me who understand me and see that we can actually be creative together, and there is a chance for us to build together. Do you understand? So that's the vibe that I wanted, especially because I'm from Jamaica, which is more than 80% black. Coming to a place like this is like confusing a bit, and then it's not as like this. Coming to Denver was my solution to that. But I'm hoping towards the end of the year and things loosen up a bit more, hopefully. I'll be able to meet more like-minded people, but in the online presence, I use hashtags and things like that to find more creatives like me in Denver, in Colorado as a whole. And it's working so far. So how I would sum up living in Colorado as a black Caribbean woman, life-wise, it's alright. Now, as for housing, if you're on a budget when you're moving to Colorado, I would say start with Colorado Springs. If your budget is $800 to $1,000 for rent, and I'm talking a 1-bedroom, yes, you would go to Colorado Springs. If your budget is $1,200 up, go to Denver, Aurora, wherever. But Denver is definitely gentrified. The rent is more expensive. Just make sure if you are moving to Colorado, you have a plan. Don't follow all those people from California coming here. When considering cost of living compared to California, Colorado is cheaper. So that's why you see all those people from California moving here. But if you're moving from Houston, if you're moving from Arkansas, Arizona, somewhere cheaper than California and Colorado, I would save, I would think about it, make sure I actually have a secure and good paying job before coming here. Okay? Just saying. Love life. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10 because, like, alright, let's talk about Colorado Springs first. Like I said, there's the military men. Sweetheart, they're not gonna be loyal. Not all of them are serious men. I can't generalize them, but the ones that I and my friends have encountered are not serious. They literally can be deployed tomorrow. So don't even waste your time if you know you want to be serious with somebody. If you meet someone in the military in Colorado Springs especially, make sure you figure out what their long-term plans are, if it can include you or not. Don't just jump the broom and think. Denver, since I've moved here, I've not been dating. Honestly, I'm single. And I think I'm gonna be single for a good minute because I literally need to make $1 million before I start caring again. Okay?
Oh my God.
Shut it up. I feel like I wasted enough time on men and they're not taking the steps to be as serious as I have. Like, I will be loyal to somebody who's not even trying. That's my problem. And it's a weird thing that I have to deal with. And right now I'm working on myself and understanding my worth because I've wasted it enough on, okay, anywho, Colorado dating life. Like I said, 2 out of 10. Would not recommend. It is ghetto. And that's on Corona.
Oh, it's got hot. I gotta get out of here. I'm done. Yeah.
Food and attractions. Okay, so for food, I would say Denver hit the nail on the head with having more variety and more options. Like I said, they have a bigger type of cultural pot up here, so they definitely have more food choices. Colorado Springs, yes, they have it, but no, they don't have it. If that makes sense. They have it, but they don't have it because the organization is still not there. So they need to work on that just a bit more. But the community of Colorado Springs, I'd like to let you know, they have a prediction that it will definitely grow past Denver by 2030. So might want to watch Colorado Springs because they on the come up. Denver is already gentrified and overpopulated in my mind. So Colorado Springs is just the next project, okay? What else? Hair. If you're a black woman and you want to come to Colorado, it is so hard to find a hairstylist here who knows what they're doing. And I would just say, if you're a hairstylist, like maybe from Atlanta or something, we need you. You would make bank here. So if you want to move here, do it. Because I will be your first client. Especially if you know how to do locks. For real, like the hair scene here for black hair care is not adequate. It's not enough. So I think that's the part that we're falling short. Also for black barbers, for black men also, not enough of them here. What else? Brands and clothing. Definitely going to be more into the suburb type dressing. So you definitely might have to shop online or something to get the urban look, the more fashionable looks. If you care about sustainability or options for veganism, Colorado Springs and Denver are fairly equal. We have Whole Foods, we have Sprouts, there are other places for green goods and environmentally friendly things because, newsflash, Colorado is actually a green state. We actually care about renewable energy, sustainability, just green things. I'm an environmental engineering student, so I know this firsthand. Colorado Springs has a lot of green initiatives and environmental impact initiatives. Like, during the summer, when there are forest fires that are common, they will have fire bans. They'll have bans on your commute, like saying, oh, on Thursdays, try to carpool because you want to lower the emission of carbon into the atmosphere. So they have initiatives like that to help with um, just helping the environment, basically. So those are the ways that I'd say this state is actually ahead. And then as for immigration, for individuals who DACA, those are immigrants who are living within the United States undocumented. They're protected here. Colorado actually protects them. So if you are one of those individuals and you would like to come to Colorado, maybe get your education and, get further in life, you're protected here, you're welcome here. What else? Yeah, DACA, I think that's actually a great program too, and there are definitely a lot of opportunities, especially for Hispanic students here, because you're protected. So Colorado welcomes you. And then as for every other initiative, like the unemployment initiative, police brutality initiative, things like that, where the whole country would have an uproar about, I noticed that Colorado always does something first. If not first, it's always one of the top states to be in agreement that there needs to be a change, and they implement that change right away. So Colorado is actually very good for that, and that's something that I admire about this state. The lawmakers here, they actually listen and implement things like that. So I like that about this state. What else? I think that's everything. So to summarize everything, Colorado, I would give you a 7 out of 10. You just need to be a little more diverse and open to diversity, because a lot of times, a lot of universities here say they have diversity and inclusion, but we don't really see the inclusion all the time. There is the diversity, and yes, you try to recognize it, but with inclusion, you have to have resources and you have to implement ways to actually show that you notice us, actually show that we're a part of the ecosystem. Yeah, 7 out of 10 Colorado. Opportunities are here, so I appreciate that, Colorado. Denver, if you can lower your rent a little bit, because you're giving me very much greedy energy. Like, why is your hand always out? Because I literally don't like labor. It is so 1950. Like, labor is so 1800s. I feel like we should all live for free by now. If we're so advanced, why are we still adopting practices that our ancestors did? Like, okay, make it make sense. The rent is too high. Denver, the rent is too high. I repeat, Denver, the rent is too high. What else? Any community here that is identified as Black, when you sign that box on the paper, we just need to come together more. Organization is what will lead us, okay, to our aspirations. You feel me? It is what will help us to meet our goals. So organization, I feel like we need more of that in Colorado as Black people. So that was my video on what it's like living in Colorado. Please let me know what you think about it. If you're a Jamaican in Colorado, a Black creative, African creative, whatever you want to call yourself, and you want to connect at any time, my Instagram is Empress Moxie, my TikTok is Empress Moxie, my email is provided in my about section, and you can definitely comment below and we can get it poppin'. So that's all for this video. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.